Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. My name's Anthony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, another bozo on the bus, and I care about you.
Yes, and I'm Louis. My pronouns are he and him. I'm recovering from crystal meth and alcohol, and I am always in search of balance. And each week we strive to foster a brave space where we can engage in conversations centered around topics of recovery.
And our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for more people in recovery by tackling issues sometimes used to separate us.
But before we do that, please like, comment, share this episode, subscribe.
Tell your friends about us, your mom about us. I want you to pause the podcast right now, pick up your phone, call your mom, and say, hey, have you heard about this podcast at the CCC?
That was really good. You like stretching an episode so the music could end.
And now the disclaimer: the thoughts and opinions expressed on At the CCC are alone. We do not represent anyone but ourselves. In other words, we're just a couple of friends behind a mic here to entertain you. And of course, everything we talk about is for general information purposes only.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Louis, it's so good to see you.
That's good to see you too.
Is it?
Yeah. No. Hello.
Hello.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. How have you been?
Actually, good. You know what? I don't know if I told you. I just came off of being programs co-chair for Western Round of Living Sober.
Okay.
And I agonized because it's like my processing, and I decided to do fundraising.
Oh.
Yes.
Which is arguably the hardest commitment.
You know what? I feel like programs this year was pretty challenging just because it was different. Normally we have the hotel, everything's encompassed and whatever, but here we had to be creative because things were spread out. So yeah, fundraising. I mean, it's like the last couple of years they laid a framework, and so I think that if we didn't have really kind of solid things already kind of in place, it would be a little scary. Yeah. So. Yeah.
The conference was incredible this year, and I hadn't thought about how it changed so much. And so the weight of each committee.
What's interesting? I remember, I think it was probably, I want to say it was like around 2016, 2017 or whatever. One of the conferences, I think, a frustration that was had is that in the past they would let people come into like the main meeting without paying. Mm-hmm. And I think that this year, because rightfully so, at conferences sometimes they get a little expensive, and so they were charging, and people were up in arms. And we don't need a lot of an excuse. And when I say we, I'm talking about we in recovery. We don't need a lot of an excuse to complain and bitch about something. And so I remember in that moment, I'm all, something's got to give.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized that like. The spark is probably ignited. That was the year that I was in the Rocky Heart Recovery Show as Columbia.
That's in the history of the conference, that's been my absolute favorite musical.
It was a lot of fun. I mean,
they did, yeah.
Terry B did that.
Terry B?
Terry B. He used to manage the Castro Country Club. He was the director.
Oh, Terry?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there were like some like real actors in that.
Michael Soldier.
Yeah. Oh,
I can say his name because Michael's amazing. Michael's just a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
And how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Feeling okay?
I am feeling okay.
Uh-huh.
What you don't know is that Louis and I had a conversation before we started recording today. Yay! If you want to know more about it, reach out.
I know, exactly.
Not talking about it on the air. So I've been pretty good. I'm currently in the middle of a break. I took some time off before going into this next year of my postdoc. So it's been cool. I've been going to a meeting every day, hanging out with friends.
Yeah, I saw you on Tuesday. I'm like, oh, this bitch.
Yeah. She goes to meetings.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I love it.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. And then I had a couple like work-related things that I went to that were quite beautiful. So shall we jump into today?
Let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
By the way, thank you all for your patience. It's like we had that little gap. I think it was probably a week we're going to be missing a week or two by the time you get this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe less, but honestly, it's like we have some amazing folks who like they come back. They're there. So it's like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like you're saying, hey, thank you for not leaving us.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, no, honestly, it's like, well, you know how you find a podcast that you like, or you find anything you like, and I'm telling you, once anything shifts in my schedule or whatever, everything shifts sometimes. And it could be just a fraction of something. And so if I have a routine or a pattern that's in place and I can't follow through with that, then yeah. But
I get it.
But we want you to stay with us.
We want you more than we want your money.
Yeah. What? We're trying to get your money.
So we are, but yeah, to Lewis's point, yeah, thanks for bearing with like our maybe you're not bearing, maybe you didn't even notice the gaps, but we do think about it. Yeah.
I don't know if they noticed, but I noticed that someone's not here today.
Jordan isn't here today.
I know. Hey. Jordan's not here. It's like, we miss you, Jordan.
We do miss you, Jordan. And in the spirit of Jordan's absence.
What is it like?
No.
Make better choices.
No, make better choices.
That's his,
yeah.
I was listening back to old episodes and I thought you said you were going to workshop that.
Yeah, and he didn't.
And he's defiant.
But we believe in him. So we are continuing on our series on the committee in our heads. So the committee in our heads, for those who are not familiar, the committee in our heads, in this series, we are isolating and focusing on different parts of ourselves that show up, throughout our life. You can have like the internal critic, and we've spent some time talking about that. And then today, we're going to talk about the image manager. How do you think about the image manager?
Well, you and I are both Virgos.
We're in Virgo season.
We're in Virgo season, and like I am always, or I'm less likely to do it, but I know there was a time where I was really kind of rigid in how I wanted people to see me, even if I was a mess, because I thought that I was in control of someone else's perception of me. And so it's like, that's what I think about. I think I'm going to do this, and this, and they're going to see me like that. And duh. It's kind of, I compare this to like when I first started doing drag. Like I and anybody who does drag, I wanted to be glamorous. I wanted to be a showgirl or whatever. And then I came out, and no matter what I did, everybody was laughing and carrying on and having a good time. And when I finally realized, I'm just circus clown, and it doesn't matter.
You're a comedy queen.
I'm a comedy queen. It's like I'm really funny. No, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it does. Honestly, it's like the gift was figuring out that, I'm not in control of what somebody else sees.
Yeah. I mean, that's been the theme of my break, actually, is like, I'm not in control. It's like revisiting us step one.
Oh, yeah.
So the image manager, so that's the committee member that we're thinking about today. And so the image manager, the way I think about it, like the image manager part of ourselves, or maybe I can refer back to myself, is the part of us that doesn't really care if we're okay, but is more concerned with appearing like we're okay.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
It's keeping up with the Joneses. Or it's like, you're suffering and you don't tell anyone about it, or like things are feeling out of control.
You can't save your ass and your face at the same time.
Yeah, you cannot. It's kind of like the part of us that tries to do like damage control for ourselves and maybe even for other people, I
was going to tell a story, but I realized that if I tell the story, people would know exactly who I was talking about. So I'm going to refrain.
Oh, I know why you just said that. So because of, we got reprimanded.
Yes. No, exactly. And with good reason. It's like, because our family listens to this. And I think that one of the things, it's really super important that we respect what goes on within meetings or anything. It's like, I like to think that I'm a closed mouth person, that if you share something with me, Anthony made it, whatever.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, I know. I like to think that I'm someone that you can trust, and in the spirit of what we do, I don't want. It's kind of like when your parents are psychiatrists or whatever, and they start writing about you, and you're the case subject, and everybody, and
everyone's like, we know
they changed the names, they're all, we know who that is, yeah.
So the image manager. So I feel like there are a bunch of different functions that it has.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like I said earlier, it's about like how other people are perceiving us. Mm-hmm. It also selects what is true, right? Mm-hmm. In order to feel safe. Can you think of other things?
Well, I was thinking about like when I came in, like when I came in, I wanted to present, like I thought it was a fraud. I didn't want people to tell me I couldn't be here. And so I stayed quiet. I stayed to myself. I didn't cause any trouble. So I guess like it's just all about like management. Like
yeah. There's like the way I see it, the way I see it in kind of like these nuanced situations, it's like when someone wants credit for being honest and vulnerable without actually letting people know who they are.
Oh my God.
Right? It's like, I want connection and I want friends, but the way they show up in certain spaces is like closed off or right. But the bottom line, I think, is with the image manager, and I think, we all deal with this. It's like when we are either shortchanging ourselves, and the way that looks like is, I'm going to become what I think you need me to be.
Absolutely.
What I think you want to see in order to achieve a certain end.
I think about like too here recently, like acknowledging that I was a big people pleaser and that I would do things to try to make people happy. Meaning like, even if it's, spend money, do whatever, even if in the end I was like losing my mind behind closed doors, I was like, or being the class clown. Like, I don't want people to talk shit about me or feel some sort of way about me. So I'm going to laugh, or I don't want them to laugh at me. So I'm going to start the laughter and whatever. And that, and looking back at that is painful.
Yeah. And it painful for so many different reasons, right? Because part of it is like the lying that we do to ourselves, and we don't know that we're doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're trying to be deceptive all the time, right? Like sometimes it's like we're just used to operating in a certain way. So I did some digging, and I found I did some digging, or I was just going to say something wild.
I was thinking the same thing too.
Say something really wild. So one of the things I found is that there's some research among people in recovery, or like substance use recovery, that examined this idea of self-deceptive enhancement as part of recovery. So meaning like having a positively distorted self-perception that a person can genuinely believe. Okay. So there's like this thing that happens. And so in the study, what they found is that greater 12-step meeting attendance was associated with less self-deceptive enhancement.
Although why? Because people see you as like, I'm obviously nice try. I reckon.
I mean, I didn't go too in depth, but one of the things it says is that the study, at least I don't remember the study being able to make any claims about like what about going to more meetings makes it so that change happens, but nevertheless, it's there.
Well, I think unless you're a sociopath, it's like I would think going to more meetings, you're exposed to folks who are trying to do the same thing that you're doing, who are possibly doing it and modeling behavior that you want, and it's inspiring. And how can you not want a little taste of that? Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Can you remember? Oh, I hate this question. I'm thinking about it by myself. Like, can you remember the first time you were made aware of how other people saw you? When you were drinking and using. So, like, how you were being perceived just based on like your behaviors and stuff like that when you're drinking.
Well, I think a lot of it came the next day. I had this best friend who would say, anytime she'd call him, say, dude. I knew it was dude. Mm-hmm. And then she'd list a list of, because in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm charming, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I did all these things and I should probably be arrested. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No. Honestly, it's like, and you know what? I couldn't see it at the time, but it was a gift. It was a gift because it caused me, even if for a moment, to change some of my behavior. It's shown a light on, okay, yeah, this is not okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but it's like, it's like, it was uncomfortable. It was so hard to hear. And then part of me was like wanting to make excuses and say, oh, we were drunk and this and that, whatever. And I would not. And there was no excuse.
Yeah.
There was no.
Yeah. Like, I remember when I first started, God, I'm like cotton mouth. I remember when I first started, go get me a water. Just kidding.
Okay.
I remember when I first entered recovery, I listen, I was so far removed from the person I am today. Like, I came in and I was working very hard to appear like I had my shit together all the time, right? And I did it in a bunch of different ways, from like the clothes I was wearing to the things I would say to like just ridiculous. And I remember, I think I've told you this before, where I was like sitting across, there was that guy, Rocky, I think his name is. We were at what was then Firewood, and he was sitting across from me, and he goes, like, kind of annoyed with me. He goes,
Rocco.
He was kind of like annoyed with me. He's like, I don't believe any of this shit that you think you're doing.
I love it.
And he was like referring to like the way I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but he wasn't buying it. And I think that was like one of the first times. The time before that was when, I mean, I don't know how like credible it is, but there was this one time I was with my friend who I used to drink with all the time, who I think is also sober now these days.
Nice.
And we were at a party and I was drunk and I was like talking to these people and I thought I was so smart. You know what I mean? I was like, have you read this book? And do you know this thing? And like, I was just so obnoxious. And fast forward the following day, he was kind of being mean. He's like, I hope you know they could see right fucking through you and blah, 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 blah. Because basically he was saying like you haven't read those books. You haven't done any of those things.
Did you read the books?
I don't fucking remember. I was so drunk. But I do know the way I used to behave. And I was obnoxious. I was absolutely obnoxious.
I always wanted to, like, especially when I came in the rooms and even before, like I want to appear like an enigma. I wanted it to be mysterious.
Yeah.
And so I was like aloof and kind of whatever and all that, because it wouldn't last, because it's like my personality kind of shines. No, I'm all blah.
Yeah. No. I've had that too, and I've encountered that a lot in like hookups. Yeah. Or like just casual encounters.
Well, definitely in casual.
Or yeah, I mean, like I'm not going in and like walking with my like, and here's my trauma. So there's a little bit more restraint there, but suffice it to say, I think that ultimately when I was operating from that space, that I was essentially trying to protect myself, right?
Oh, like, absolutely.
It just felt too dangerous to be vulnerable, even if that's not the language I had during the time.
No, exactly. It's like looking back on it, it's like, I don't know you, and I don't know what you can do to me. And I mean, today, thank God, I know you can't do anything to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially I had the best information from this Bishop Yvette Flunder. I'm gonna throw that name around because she's amazing. The City of Refuge Church. Anyway, when I was trying to figure out sobriety, even before I tried to figure out sobriety, I was attending this church, and she would always say, it's like, if you determine your narrative, no one else can. It's like, and I think it was probably a conversation about telling your truth.
Oh, I just therapy. I have therapy like every other week on a Friday, And that you need to know the details of that. But I had therapy on Friday.
I have therapy every time we get together. I'm kidding.
I just sounded like JFK, not JFK, the other one, RFK. Okay. So you threw me off.
I'm sorry. You had therapy. You have therapy.
Oh, I had therapy, and I was just talking about like some of the things that I've been doing recently, and how they've been wearing me the fuck out. And it was basically a conversation about trying to like either prove myself or trying to I was being motivated by something outside of me, right? And just how exhausting that is, right? I remember when I was in high school, there was like this quote I came across, and it was like something like, as long as you can only hold the pose for so long, at some point you get tired and the pose falls apart, and then people get to see you. I think there's also like a unique connection here when we're talking about like queer recoveries, because there's a bit of like concealment or image management that happens even before we get sober. Yeah, and maybe that's not the case for everyone, but like either it's in.
Well, I think a lot of us come in with these fabricated versions of ourselves, and you got to chip away at that before you can even get to the lower.
Yeah. And that is about safety, right? It's like for those of us who felt like we had to change our voice, or we had to like watch our body language. Like, am I using my hands femininely?
Do you notice? Yeah, exactly. Do you notice? Yeah. There are some people in the way that they talk, like their voice kind of gets deeper, like when they're speaking to groups or whatever. It's like, there's one in particular I'm thinking of, and I always give them a hard time, but I got to remember, it's like, when you're in the world, it's like even if you don't know it, you're possibly thinking, oh, this might affect how people take what I'm offering.
Yeah. I mean, that's by itself could be like a really long conversation, but like how we use our voice and like what is considered authentic and not authentic. Right. And so is it inauthentic, for example, if a person, so by the way, there are studies on like why men lower their voice and men will raise their voice, right? So there's some studies that show, and this is like specific to like different countries, but like in the United States, when men are uncomfortable, they tend to drop their voice. And then when women are uncomfortable, they tend to raise their voice. And I think in Germany, it's the inverse. I think women drop their voice and men raise their voice.
I was going to ask you the question, because you say you were in therapy. Do you find that therapy is different now that you're sitting in the place? Therapist? Yeah, now that you're in the place that you are, like, you kind of have an idea of like what you want from
my therapist. I feel fortunate in that my therapist is incredible. She's also a professor, so I feel like I benefit from her kind of being in this continual state of learning. But I also find that am I aware of maybe some of the like the clinical strategizing that's happening when we're in session? Yeah, but
I know she's scribbling.
Yeah, on a notepad. But here's the thing: even if I am aware of it, I still stand to benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like I know what you're doing now, and I can fight that, and I can question that, or I can just kind of allow for my therapist to kind of
embrace it.
Yeah, like take the wheel, and I'll just
Jesus, take the wheel.
So I just wanted to add like one other thing about like concealment. So, obviously, like I was saying earlier, it can be adaptive, right? And it can be about protecting us from danger. There's some, again, research on sexual orientation, concealment, and it emphasizes that like disclosures are not universally safe, right?
Yeah, no, especially with trans individuals.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. And that the relationship between concealment and mental health varies across people and like different social contexts. If you're interested in that, you can check out Sexual Orientation, Concealment, and Mental Health. It's an article. And then the other thing, just going back just briefly, the other one that I was talking about was predictors of self-deception within substance abuse recovery, which is another article. Okay. So when you came out, right? Like, do you have memories, or what was it like to go from like, okay, I'm going to conceal this thing and I'm now going to say it out loud? Did anything change for you?
It was interesting because it's like by the time, Okay, so it was a long period, like I'd say maybe like a year or so, where I was figuring it out. It was, moving in the shadows.
Yeah.
And I think that coming to San Francisco, like I think that it was, what's interesting is like when I came out, I wanted to go back in. Because it was a lot. It was like, oh God, now all of a sudden this becomes my identity. It becomes my identity with people who aren't. And I was in situations and scenarios where even if that wasn't the focus, it became the focus. And I was like, like for me, I know it was a long process for me to come to terms with it. And so I would say the people that I love, I gave them that same kind of grace, but they all knew. They didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely much better with it now, but it took a really long time. You know how we come in and we still have this internalized kind of homophobia thing going on? Because when I was hosting Mascara, when I got out of the makeup, and this is the like advanced homophobe or like stuff, because it was the gay on top of the cross dressing or whatever. I would get out of the makeup, clean up the makeup, and then I'd have to go and profess my gayness at the sex club. Oh yeah, glitter and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've had things like that. I mean, within the last couple years, like this idea of being like, I wonder if I've talked about this before, like being overly identified with being a top and what it means to,
absolutely,
being overly identified with being a top and then like opening up to like bottoming or being like having like different sexual encounters. And I had to go through like a whole fucking process about that, because I'm like, oh, but there's a certain like cultural capital that comes with being a top, like
especially in San Francisco.
Yeah. So it's like, and so I had to go through all of that, and I was like, oh God, who is this fucking
and
for?
being a top that doesn't bottom.
Like a top that doesn't bottom.
The top that's like, it's almost like that
like
nonsense about Gold Star.
Gold Star top?
No.
What?
There are some bottoms. This is
what
another story. There are some
right
bottoms who don't like the idea that their top's top.
What? Wait, no.
You've not heard
wait,
that?
no, wait. You're like, there's some bottoms.
There's some bottoms who don't
like that
like
they're
the
top
idea
bottoms.
that they're top bottoms.
Oh
Top bottoms.
Yeah. I mean, I remember. Oh God, that we only have so much time, but we can go over. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I remember years ago, one of our friends, they were like, "Oh yeah, so and so." There was like this porn actor, and they're like, "Yeah, so and so, like he's like the hottest, like top, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh,
MB,
huh?
MB."
Are you? No,
I'm saying the initials because because I remember
people can't put two and two.
I remember telling. No, I don't think they can.
Okay,
I remember telling a story,
but I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about, by the way. So I was like, oh, that's crazy. I actually like the first thing I ever saw of him, he was actually bottoming, and our friend was devastated. He was like, wait, what do you mean? And then like, what are you talking about? Like, first of all, he's on camera. Anyway, so, and I hate that this is the segue here, but
yeah, exactly.
What we're talking about with respect to like gender expression and being like identified or known by that thing reminds me of this book by Kenjin Yoshino, who's he's a professor at NYU. He wrote this book called Covering years ago, and I think I read it when I was in high school. And it was basically about, he talked about how, he's a scholar. And I think he originally like wrote poetry or something like that. His story is really fascinating. But anyway, he talks about how when, he was becoming a legal scholar, that he didn't want to be known as like the gay legal scholar, that he didn't want that to be like what he was known for, because he had worked so hard, to establish himself as a lawyer and as someone who was interested in legal ideas. And so he didn't want that to be kind of like overshadowed or because of, this idea. So, going back to this idea that it's protective, right? And so there's something that we're trying to protect. So what does it look like? Like, what does it like looking recovered, right? Like, what does that look like? I have a couple ideas. Like when people want to look recovered,
throw themselves into service. Something that kind of got us in trouble, but not, like when you memorize stuff,
Oh yeah.
When you present, it's kind of like, I mean, I'll just take, instead of the recovery, I'll take this to how it is in the church.
In the church?
How it can be in the church.
Okay.
You can recite something, verse and script and whatever, but you're not living it. Like, and it happens a lot in the rooms. It's like, I'm in pain. Like, you hear about people with lots of time.
Yeah.
And then they end up blowing their head off.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because they can't get honest with anyone. They can't talk, or they don't have people to talk to, or they haven't built the life around them that is, that serves that,
God, I don't know why, like I'm having all these like legal things, but I have a friend of mine. Yeah, we can keep going. Okay. Well, we haven't been on air for a while.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We could run this. So this is gonna be a plus episode, guys.
Exactly.
So
plus size.
So I have a friend he's a professor at Berkeley Law, and I bring that up only because you'll understand in a second. So he was saying, like, one of the things, he and I once got into a disagreement about something, and he had asked me a question. So we had essentially reconciled, and we were having this conversation, and he's like, Anthony, I don't know if you understand what I'm telling you. Like, I'm telling you this thing, and I feel like you just know the answer. So he goes, I didn't like the example.
Did he want you to show you the work? He didn't want you to show your work.
Well, no, this is what he said. I didn't like the comparison, but I understood it. And at this time I was still drinking and using, by the way.
Okay.
So he goes, when I sit with my nephew, and he goes, this reminds me of when I sat with my nephew and we were, learning arithmetic, and we're going 1 + 1 = 2. And he knew over time that 1 + 1 = 2. And so you would ask him, what's 1 + 1? And he would say 2. But when I asked him how he got to that, he didn't know. He just knew the right answer. And he's like, that's what I feel like is happening right now. Anyway, we ended up, it was like, this was years ago, but I remember walking away.
This is the shit that academics fight over.
1 + 1 = 2.
I know. It was like, no, I need you to show your work.
Yeah. I should reach out to him. He is like one of the most brilliant people I know. I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but that situation really kind of like changed how I was thinking about myself and like the way I was showing up. And in the end, that was really about like my managing an image. Is like, I knew the right answer, but I don't know that I believed it or anything like that. So then, so I have a few examples. So we have like the person who has the strategic share. Yeah. Right. So like they're at a meeting and
where you can catch all the bullet points. It's like,
like they're sharing they're sharing something vulnerable, but only something that they've already processed and packaged. So they're not sharing the wound necessarily, but they're presenting the TED Talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Then you also have the redemption speed run. So a person who like turns an event into a lesson before you have even emotionally experienced it. So it's like, I relapsed at 8 p.m. and by 9:15, I was grateful for what it taught me, so there's things like that you also have like the humble brag inventory. So my character defect is that I care too much and sponsor too many people. You also have the selective check-in. So you say,
have you done any of these?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done the humble brag one because I'm sensitive to like alienating people and in general, whatever. So
I guess the question is, you may not have thought that you did humble brag, but do you think that other people think that you
I'm sure I've said and done things where like, fuck that guy.
It's like, but and this is where it's like, I understand or whatever, but if somebody has to share. Like, because the goal for me, I'm just trying to wish everybody well. Because if I hear good things happening to you and I'm feeling some sort of way, I got to work on that. So but it's like I'm all.
Yeah, I mean, you are much more advanced than most of us.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because it's like I usually say, this bitch, not again.
Yeah, or you have it's someone who like they say I'm struggling, but they don't tell you because I'm doing math.
Or a good one is like, I've done this before. Yap, 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 yap. I'm not saying this so that you can, please don't come up and talk to me about it after. And whatever, or they get up and leave like right away. That's all dramatic. Oh my God. It's like,
yeah. And like to the 1+1 idea, there's also like people who learn the language, but like they don't really like embody some of it. So like I'm letting go, or I'm trusting in the process, or like I'm exactly where I need to be, or my higher power is handling it. But it's like, are you just saying that, or does it mean something?
Exactly.
You know, I'll tell you something one of my sponsors told me. We were talking about like the third step, and I was like, well, I'm turning it over. And he says, he asked like, well, what does turning it over look like for you? And I was like, well, I'm going to just let it go. And he's like, well, you know, turning it over can also be an action.
Yeah.
Like,
you turn it over and the other side looks the same. That's the side. This is stuff I put away a long time ago. I'm going to turn it on.
Yeah. Or the other one is like the service shield. So, you know, so someone is like, they remain like of service so that nobody asks if they're doing well, because they're like, look at this person, they're doing so much service. So they can't be falling apart.
Absolutely. And something else, you know, folks who like, there are folks like they sit in the front row, they show up all the time, and a lot of times, like, we put so much emphasis on the newcomer, and that sometimes we miss the Ocomer that's. And so I always like to close, like, you know, when I do this for the still sick and suffering. Like, I think the most important is still sick and suffering, but yeah.
Then the last one I have is the honesty performance. So it's where like a person, they disclose publicly some type of confession about their control, like something they can control, but then they avoid having the private conversations with, say, maybe the person that it directly affects. It's you know, it's like, so they're like performing this honesty, right? They're like maybe sharing about something at group level, but they're never really addressing it, or it's just kind of like for the meeting.
Or the oversharing.
Oh, you mean, what do you mean?
Like the overshare? Okay, so there are folks that just share. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, share everything.
Because you sound a little judgy.
No, that share everything.
What do you mean?
Okay, so like, your 3 minutes are your 3 minutes, and you get to share that.
Well, you know, that's also unique to big cities.
But you're talking about everything constantly, but not working on anything. It's like from the outside looking at, oh, this, you know, I want to be like this person and sharing or whatever. But the sharing, they maybe using in some ways the meetings to do what maybe sitting across from somebody else is doing, and being fine with that and thinking that that's recovery.
All right, let's play a game.
The
game is recovery or public relations.
Okay,
I'm going to read something and you tell me, is it recovery or is it public relations? Okay, ready? All right, scenario 1. I told everyone at the meeting that I relapsed, but I haven't called my sponsor.
It's public relations. Yeah, it's public relations. I'm always like, hello. Your sponsor knows now.
All right, I've got another one, right? I posted my sobriety anniversary online, but I did not mention that I changed my sobriety date. That's public relations, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But it's like, is it public relations?
I don't know.
No, well, okay, it can be for multiple reasons. But if I'm going to post my sobriety date, not everybody needs to know. But if I don't know.
And also, like, we're just being playful, right? Like,
okay,
this is like a false polarity, and of course, it's much more nuanced.
If I'm celebrating my anniversary, because usually what I try to do is I'll try to be very vague about, like, thanks for 12 years or 12, just put a 12 and nothing else.
But you didn't change your sobriety date.
But I didn't. But I didn't change my sobriety
date. So it's like I posted my sobriety anniversary online, but I did not mention that I changed my sobriety date.
Yeah, but if you changed it, that's fine. If you change it, then you don't need to say, I changed my sobriety date and here it is now.
No, sure.
But if you are lying about it, that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay, here's the next one. I apologize beautifully, but I'm furious that the person hasn't forgiven me. That sounds like sobriety to me. That sounds like
recovery. Well, because it's like I'm almost. Yeah, it's messy recovery because it's like, I mean, the whole idea is like why am I apologizing? Am I just apologizing to
absolve myself?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, how about this one? I am chairing 3 meetings because service keeps me sober, but I haven't slept properly in 4 days.
That's public relations.
Yeah. Oh God, I felt like attacked by that one. I said I needed to focus on myself, but really I wanted to avoid being confronted.
That's sobriety.
Ooh, say more.
That's sobriety. Like, I'm not ready. And so I'm taking care of myself.
I love that.
For a time when I'm ready.
Yeah. I can, listeners, if you have an opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Call Lewis. Okay, here's the other one. I shared that I was struggling after the crisis had already passed.
Well, we talked about it already. It's like it's public relations. I mean, it's kind of like I used to do this before. Like, I utilized my sponsor. I would have an issue, work it out, and then I call my sponsor and say, and this is how I did it. And that's missing the point, because with support, like the way the program is hopefully works for people, is that you don't have to do it by yourself. You can, but you don't. So yeah, that's public relations. It's like, I'm all, girl, I got it. I don't need nobody.
Here, what's the other one I have here? I only have 4 other ones. I'm giving other people recovery advice I am not currently following.
Public relations. Girl, it's like, come to me. I've got the answers.
Yeah. I told the truth, but only after I realized someone else was about to tell it.
What do you think? Honestly, it's like you told the truth.
Yeah,
it's scary. It's unfortunate the circumstances that made you tell the truth, but you told the truth.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
I admitted what I did, but spent most of the apology explaining why I did it.
That's public relations.
Yeah,
bitch, you don't feel bad for it.
Yeah,
you don't.
Yeah, so you know what's interesting about that one is that that's why I like the way the amends process is written out. You know, it's like and I wonder if it was like anticipated that a lot of us would be like, yeah, I'm sorry for this, but let me tell you why I did it this way, right? But the way I was taught to do an amends is like, you just focus on your part, no explanation, more
drama.
You don't have to litigate anything. All right, the last one. I said I'm being rigorously honest immediately before saying something cruel.
Ooh. That's public relations. I think so. It's like, because like honesty is not an excuse to be mean, be nasty.
Do you hear yourself?
No, I know, but it's like, bitch. Do you hear yourself? It's like, I'm all. Do
you hear what I hear? I think we need to land the plane, Lewis. We've gone. How much over have we gone?
43.
Oh my God.
No, we're fine.
Like 13 minutes.
So the Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
We provide programs and services that help change lives by supporting personal growth.
And our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community, opportunity, and support.
You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us, at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
And check out new episodes every Monday.
Or like whenever they get uploaded.
I didn't say that. You making fun of me?
No, I'm not making fun of you.
Okay, good.
I'm making fun of us.
Okay, got it.
All right, we love you. Bye.